All right, all right. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here of Dirt Diamond Sports Talk. As always, I'm Ryan here with my man Wally. Before we get into this, guys, we're live over on YouTube. Check us out. If you want to see these ugly mugs talk baseball, instead of just listening to us on your favorite podcasting app, but you can still find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Tonight, we're going to wrap up a frustrating Pirates series. We're going to dig into some hidden numbers behind why Houston keeps looking exciting but uneven and letting us down. We're going to take a hard look at Brian Abreu's problems and maybe ask the question, what do the Astros do here? We're going to maybe talk a little bit about Dana Brown's latest, what we call spaghetti against the wall roster moves with Lamont Wade Jr. and Colin Price making it to the big club. And then we'll preview a tricky A's series as they come to town, what the Astros really need to do in order to win against the A's. Wally, tough home series against Pittsburgh, dropping two of the three. I think the most frustrating part for me was that the series included that, that comeback win that they kind of always seem to somehow pull out in the middle of some crappy baseball. Still losing the series, scoring 18 runs to the Pirates 24. Before we hit record, there were a couple things we were talking about. You were throwing around some numbers that I think most people might raise a few eyebrows at concerning some of the things that the Astros pulled off in the series that behind the scenes may not really be too apparent to most people.
Well, there's several. I mean, the bullpen got back, or the pitching staff got back to the year of April, as Jeff Blunt described it on MLB radio the other day. Um, Starters had an ERA of 8.36, bullpen of 6.23. You got a total ERA of 7 1/3. WHIP was next to 2 at 189 for both of them. You said that they've got 18 runs, 6 a game. That ought to be able to get the job done, even though they only scored one tonight. As far as hitting with runners in scoring position, they hit 294, 10 for 34 for the series, which, is not bad. Left 23 guys on, but, they left about 1.28 runners on for every run that they scored. Normally, you keep that under 1.5, and that's a pretty good measure of how efficiently you're bringing guys in. Saw 4.5 pitches an at bat, which is that's pretty good. So this really did kind of revert to what we saw in April. The big thing that I saw that was disturbing is the team looked flat.
Mm-hmm.
Except for that one eighth inning when everything came alive. Outside of Jordan, Walker didn't hit much, but he did the other night. Let's look at the lineup that you had tonight, and it's Pena, Alvarez, Walker, Paredes, Lamont Wade, and you and I might have a little difference on Wade. I have no idea why they picked up Lamont Wade. Cam Smith, Trammell, Colin Price, Nick Allen, and Jake Myers. That's not going to scare a lot of AAA teams. Outside of when you get to that is a long, long lineup tail. Cam is getting better, but Taylor Trammell's having a better year. But this is the first year in all the years that he's played. He's been decent. Colin Price came up with a DFA'd Sanchez. I mean, he looked overmatched. Nick Allen had a hit, and he's actually been okay. Myers came off the bench. I don't know who's telling Joe how they're going to use Jake Myers or how they're doing the center field rotation. The whole thing doesn't make any sense. And if there's anything that I would look at the Astros this year, which is so counter to what we've seen from them all these years, is it just doesn't have a plan. They're just throwing stuff together. You talked about my spaghetti on the, my spaghetti strategy, and that kind of sounds like what Dana did today. He threw the spaghetti
Yeah.
against the wall. This isn't working. To me, it seemed like it moves just to make moves.
Yeah. I
Salazar's
mean, I
not
guess
doing
in
it, but I
isolation,
go ahead.
yeah. I mean, I think in isolation, the Lamont Wade Jr. signing makes sense, right? He's left-handed. You've wanted a left-handed outfield guy. He's decent at getting on base, even though he strikes out a ton. Still gives you corner outfield, and not that it matters, but I guess you get some first base flexibility with him. So maybe this is a preemptive strike to Walker or Paredes, being put on the trading block. I don't know, but he costs almost nothing. I mean, it's a major league contract at the minimum, basically. But I do feel just like you that it's kind of that Dana Brown flipping a coin and hoping, or rolling the dice and seeing if he can hit a craps. I Some of the injuries and stuff, it just, I get it, but when it really comes down to it, just like you said, it feels like just there's not been a plan when it came to roster construction. And with some of the injuries and some of the issues with some of the guys, the younger guys that they were, hoping would come through for this team, haven't. And at this point, Dane's just he's just looking for anything that he can do, kind of like that, rookie greenhorn on a job site that doesn't know what they're doing, and then just trying to look busy for the sake of not getting fired, and looking busy. I think it's a smart, low cost move, but at the same time, it's another sign that Dana did not build enough depth into this team with any strategy whatsoever in the first
Well,
place.
and to be fair today, and by the way, give you a couple of numbers from Wade last year. You know what his OPS was when with San Francisco and the
I
Angels?
I haven't looked at his numbers live from last year,
Okay,
but I know they weren't great.
his total combined OPS last year was 524.
Oof.
I mean, that takes talent. You got to, yeah, that takes
Man.
real effort to have an OPS that low.
Yeah.
Um, 242, 242 plate appearances, 58 strikeouts. So, not awful, but around 25% strikeouts. It's a little higher than you want, but not, not Rob Deere level.
Yeah.
But, um, we've talked about this before, and to be fair to Dana, which a lot of people don't like to right now because he's everybody's punching bag. But but a lot of this started back at the end of 2017 when Luno decided to get rid of almost all of the in-person scouting staff. They went all to digital, all to video. And we've talked about it before. The only two guys that have been drafted and have made a true, plus impact since 2017 as far as drafts. And I don't put Jordan in this because Jordan was a trade piece that Luno picked up. And I picked him up in 16, I believe, maybe no 17, because he traded him in 17 on the stretch to the Dodgers. Is Hunter Brown and Jeremy Pena. The Astros, the Astros have always prided themselves on building that farm up. So when guys went, you had you had other good players to take their place. When you don't have that farm,
Yep.
it's not good. And to be fair again to Dana, it looks like this draft from last year might be pretty good.
Hmm.
But it's you're 3 or 4 years before those guys really show up. Xavier Nayans is keeping his head above water at A ball. Kevin Alvarez has been a real good sign. The Schiavone looks like the kid they drafted last year is all the way out up to Double A and as a catcher. Janik has been out, and I think I saw he was down at A and he was getting some swings in, but I think they sent him back to the instructional league, the Florida Coast League.
Hmm.
They just
Yep.
haven't had guys to fill in. And so this is what you have, what you get when you don't have pieces to go get pieces that you need.
Yep. Well, and Colin Price So he was also another roster move today, right? So he's going to serve as the backup for Vasquez after Salazar was DFA'd. At AAA, the kid looks great. Real power, 780 OPS, 28 home runs across 158 games down there.
Right.
So I think that the kid has potential, but it's another sign that the Astros are trying to squeeze offense out of every emergency roster spot somehow, and pray and hope that something comes around. I mean, Price has power. He's shown that, but he's coming out of the Pacific League. I mean, it's everybody has power in the Pacific League because
Yeah,
pitching is usually not that great. Small
you and I could,
ballparks.
you and I could have a 720 OPS, and
Yeah,
I'm 65.
yeah, yeah. So it's June, and the Astros are cycling through guys like Lamont Wade, Colin Price, sending Zach Cole back down, hoping on Loperfido to come back, DFAing
Yeah,
Salazar. Uh,
what did you think about that thing with Loperfido not coming back up?
I guess they feel like he probably needed more time.
You think he just wasn't quite ready off of his
Yeah, yeah,
injury, and they ran out of
yeah,
time on the rehab, and had to
yeah,
keep him down?
yeah. I think
Because
that's probably the case.
it's somebody else's $1 million they're spending on Lamont Wade, but I just don't see how Lamont Wade is a step up over Loperfido,
Yeah,
and Loperfido's still a developing player. I mean, I think it's they're quickly getting to the point where they're gonna have to commit one way or the other on this season.
hmm, yep. Well, and you brought up the Jake Myers. It's no secret that I'm a Jake Myers guy. I'm a Jake Myers fan. I'm not unrealistic about him, but this center field rotation thing, it's no secret, and it seems time and time again when you look at the when you look at Jake's running average, WR, what is it, his WRC plus moving average, that when Jake Myers gets regular playing time, he is a 20% better player
Yeah,
offensively. And so getting Jake back, and whether or not maybe he's just not back to 100% and they don't feel like they can play him every day, but a 20% better Jake Myers as a regular guy is better than any other option that you have right now that you can put out in center field. But you bring Jake back from injury and put him into this weird rotation with these other guys bouncing around center field. It's just another one of those things that doesn't make sense. Is that on Dana? Is that on Joe? Is Joe feeling like because Jaina stacked the team the way that he's stacking the team that he's got to play these guys this way? It's a
it
it's a
it sure
little
sounds like
confusing, and yeah,
it sure sounds like Joe's being told who to play.
I yeah. I
I mean,
mean, how do you argue with that?
it's because the there are guys, when you look at who they have right now. One of the things that's really missing on this is steady veteran presence that's producing. Okay,
Yep.
you've got, you look at the guys that played tonight again: Pena, Alvarez, Walker, Paredes. Those four can play on most every team.
Hmm.
Um, Lamont Wade, we yeah, he's going to give it the best he has. I just don't know what he's got.
Yep.
Cam needs to play because he's coming up, but then you've got Trammell, who is a platoon guy, probably Colin Price and Nick Allen. You've got four guys in there between Wade, Trammell, Price, and Allen, where you can make a strong statement they shouldn't be in there.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they are those four
there's a
guys.
very strong argument for those guys not being Major League Baseball players.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Nick Allen has a place. He's got a place as as a backup.
He's your utility backup defensive
Is
specialist
a middle, and he's hit better than they expected to.
lately.
I
Yeah,
mean, he's hitting
his
two.
OPS is better than Dubon's right now. Which the
Is it
Dubanax out
really?
there. I was looking at something. Somebody posted OPS.
I
It's
saw
it's right
that.
about the same, or Allen has got a little bit higher OPS than Dubon.
Yeah,
They're not
he's
going to want to
got
hear it,
a
but
yeah. Allen has a 679 OPS right now, which for him is okay.
hmm
Um, but you just it we ran through the exercise last year, and people are saying what was wrong with the team, and it would be more pronounced this year. You'd look at the OPSs and the guys who were in the 17, 19, 21, 22, and then 23, and then 25, 26 teams. I mean, people say what's wrong? The players just aren't as good.
yep.
I mean, you don't want to overthink this thing.
Dubon with a 685 OPS. Just
Yeah.
a note.
So he's got Nick beat.
Yeah, by a hit maybe.
Yeah. That's about. I mean, the only thing Doobie has that Nick doesn't, Doobie's a major league plus outfielder.
Yes. Yeah, and about $4.5 to $5 million more a year right now.
Yeah, they signed him for 6 mil, so it's 5 million.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Yeah, it's five
Yep.
million.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You're getting to a point with this team where we've talked about it's not Espada's fault, and I still don't think it's Espada's fault. But the thing that is getting concerning is that the performances are flatter and flatter.
Yeah.
That does fall on the manager.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. You got to keep the energy up. You've got to somehow make these guys believe that they can win.
Yeah, it's a bad
Yep.
baseball team right now.
It's just not good. Part of what's making this baseball team kind of bad is, I mean, we saw a little bit of what we thought might have been a resurgence, but Brian Abreu is he still has swing and miss stuff. But I was running some numbers on the guy, and his hard hit contact is
Whoa.
55.2%. So more than half of the hits that he's giving up are just freaking rockets.
He
And
looked good.
he looked good tonight. Yeah. Yeah.
They were
Hitting
saying on the
60, 96, 97, 98 tonight.
yeah, they're saying he was cutting it loose tonight, which is the first time. If he cuts it loose, he's fine.
Yep. Yep.
But you and I swapped notes this week about Abreu. And, of course, we say here was our premise come in, and of course he has a great night tonight. But, you know, do you let him go? You try to trade him for a bucket of balls or what? Because I mean, there's four questions we asked. You and I asked each other. It says, are you going to re-sign him next year? Probably not. Yeah, he may be pricing himself nor the Astros might, but do you really want him back? Is he showing signs of figuring it out? It said, he had a night like tonight, so maybe a little more, but not really. It's still very uneven. Do the Astros have other guys that can fill the spots? Absolutely, yes. And do the Astros, if they think they're going to be any sort of a contender, have the luxury of working the rest of the year to figure this thing out with him? And said no.
Mm-mm.
So it's getting close to where you got to cut him. You've got to move him. Um, Again, he looked great tonight.
Yeah.
Maybe he
Well, and I
maybe
think
he proves us wrong, but he was awful the other night.
I mean, with Hader coming back, right, you can finally reshape this bullpen a little bit, start to reshape the bullpen, right? So you have your back end closer now. That may allow Abreu to move into, a little bit of a cleaner, low leverage type of guy for a bit.
Yeah,
You've got Santa. who, despite giving up a walk the other night, still has not given a hit in the major
No, he
leagues.
gave up a hit. He gave up a hit last night.
Last night, I missed that.
Yeah,
Then okay, okay,
but
um,
he's been good.
okay. Yeah, he's been great. So you still have, so you got Oker, you've got King, you've got De Los Santos, all three of which could be your leverage guys, leaving Abreu kind of on the outside looking in as a leverage dude. And so that could end up being the reset that Brian Abreu has needed.
Well, let's hope for his sake. For his sake and everybody's sake, we want these guys to succeed,
Hmm.
and you just hope he will.
Yeah,
Maybe
absolutely.
we proved last year when Hader got hurt that whatever it is, closers have to have it, and whatever it is, Abreu didn't have it, and probably
Yep.
just does not have it.
Yep.
Um, you know, we forget that when he was doing eighth inning work for a Hader, he'd scare the daylights out of you then too.
A
My
little bit.
my saying, he can make coffee nervous. It's just
Yeah.
he that's just he's that dude.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's there's still just so many question marks here with this team. I just, it's frustrating to a certain standpoint that we're we're here, and you're almost at a point again now. We're almost at a point now where you can't blame this stuff on the injury bug that hit this team for
No,
6 weeks. I think that we're done with that narrative.
and nobody cares. Everybody else has injuries too.
Yeah, it's very
It's
true.
not like people
It's
say, well,
true.
the Astros been hurt with injuries. Well, Aaron Judge is going to be out,
Yeah,
probably maybe 2 months with a stress
till middle of
fracture in his
August.
ribs. Do you think
Yeah,
anybody's feeling sorry for the Yankees?
yeah. No,
No, they gotta just suck it up
a
like
lot of
everybody
jeering.
else does.
Yep,
Just suck it up like everybody else does.
yep.
It's how it is. The Yeah, Brown coming back, that'll line things out a little bit better. But they've got to play Astros. I worked out. They've got to play 632 ball to get to
Yep.
90 wins.
It's
You're
getting
getting
harder
to
and
a
harder every night.
you're getting to a point. You lose series. You've got to win two series just to get yourself ahead of where you just about of the hole you dug yourself into.
Yeah,
The Astros need to uh, observe the first rule of holes.
yeah.
You know what that is?
I think I do.
When you're in a hole, quit digging.
Yeah,
As the first rule of holes.
yep. Stop
And they
digging that
get
hole.
themselves to a deeper hole every night,
Yep,
every series.
yep. Well, tricky one's coming up with
Yep.
the A's coming to town. So it looks like tomorrow's going to be Perkins versus Peter Lambert. Potentially Emai on Saturday. I'm showing a TBD for the A's on Saturday, so I'm not sure who they're potentially throwing. And then Jump against Burrows on Sunday. So, this is a series that should look winnable, but it's definitely not like a comfortable series.
Oh no.
The A's have already beaten them, but their rotation is getting thin. This is a team here that has some injuries, right? Um,
I've got some guy
four
Morris.
of their five opening day roster starters are either injured now, inactive, or gone. I mean,
Yes, Severino's out.
Severino's out, Savale's out, Lopez and Morales have been sent to Triple A.
Yeah.
There was one more. Who was it? Jeff. So Springs is the only opening day veteran starter that's still active on this team. So here you've got a team like the A's that's they're dealing with their own injuries. They can hit though.
Oh
That's the
man,
thing.
can they hit?
That's the thing with the A's is they can hit. Langoliers is on a
Hey,
rip. Kurtz is on a rip. They've got a negative 32 run differential, but they're still somehow figuring out how how to stay a 500 team right now.
Yeah, and sorry if I'm gonna go back to Pittsburgh just for a second, but
Oh yeah,
just for a quick second is you got to give Pittsburgh credit. That's a good team over there.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Pittsburgh in past years would have taken that gut punch on Wednesday night and would have got blown out. They
Hmm.
they schooled the Astros. There's no
Hmm.
question who was the better team on those three games.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
so I've got a guy named Morris going on Saturday night. Cade
Okay,
Morris.
Cade Morris. Okay,
Um, let's see if I can find any stats on the kid. No available information on stats. What does that tell you?
Hmm.
He must be getting brought up.
Just getting brought up. Yeah, yeah.
Um, no news
So the
available.
Astros are going to have to get to this rotation early. I mean, that's the keys. The keys for an Astros win here is, get to that rotation early. These are guys that are just not, not great.
Yeah,
And Houston needs to be patient and take their opportunities when they can get them, make them throw strikes.
yeah, I agree.
You gotta hold Kurtz, Langoliers, and Rooker. Like, don't let those guys beat you while well, they're gonna beat you. And so,
I think Langoliers is out.
oh, is he really? I missed
I
that.
think I saw he got hurt. Let me see because they played the Cubs. No, he played today.
Okay.
Yeah, he's 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Yes, he played 2 home
Okay.
runs.
Yeah. Yeah. See, there you go.
Yeah, he played.
Oh man. So yeah, I think, you've got to have Peter Lambert and Imai, you know, show up the way that they've been showing up. I think that there's some of those things that in this A's team is vulnerable. Um, and you've got to look back at why and wonder why their run differential is the way that it is. It says that they can win series, but they get beaten pretty badly when they lose. And so it doesn't seem as though this is a team that can really sustain a lot of the offense that they're continuing to put out there.
Yeah,
It
but
almost
the
feels as though when you look at this, when you look at the stats without context, they almost look like a team very similar to the Astros, where they go off for a couple of nights and then disappear.
what the biggest problem with the Astros this year is they've forgotten how to win, and there's winning. Things like tonight when Pena gets that ball in the hole and he backhands it and he makes the error and they give up the extra run and just
Yep.
little things like that where it's just not winning baseball.
Yep.
Things like the other night when Myers was playing center field and there's a physical issue, they can run on Myers because he medium deep fly ball to center field. Guy went from second to third. Myers doesn't have the skill. He can't. They they're having trouble splitting them. Throwing to the proper bases. They keeping runners where they need to be. They're just not a very good baseball team right now. You hate
Yeah.
to be like that. They're just not.
It's kind of sad baseball to watch sometimes. I mean, yeah. The last
Here,
night's game was exciting to watch. The comeback, that big inning that tells you this team can actually do it, and then they come out flat tonight and just don't look good against a pitcher that you should be able to beat.
throw out just one more thing about the numbers with the Astros this year, and this is more financial numbers. They're down. Um, they're down about 2,000 a night. Okay, in attendance.
Man,
And you got to, your experience there on the average is call it $100 a seat,
hmm,
maybe even more, but just throw those numbers out. They're losing $200,000 revenue year to year. And for a businessman like Crane, you start you $200,000 a night. You do the math of 81, 36 million or something like that.
yeah. Ooh, man. Yeah. Jeez. Man.
Yeah, 160, that's 16 million bucks. Or yeah, I'm saying it's 100 and let me make sure I get my numbers right. So yeah, $16 million of lost revenue year to
Yeah.
year, and that Crane didn't get to be a billionaire by not watching his numbers.
Being bad with numbers. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep. Well, we're up against it, man. That's our 30
we
minutes
wish we
there,
had
I
more.
guess.
Wish we had more to talk about because that game on Wednesday night was a lot of fun.
That
Give him
was
credit. Give him credit for coming off the mat. Walker give a nice little bleeder to the right side, just hitting what they
yep.
need to do. And the thing was about Tuesday night or Wednesday night that was so crazy is it happened so fast
It was bang bang right after one, right after the other. Yeah. I
with
mean,
two outs, nobody on.
all done with two outs. Yep.
So give him credit. Give him credit for that.
Well, I think I think that is probably the most frustrating thing about this team is that you see them put an inning together like that, where every guy in the lineup contributes to an inning that scores you and puts you above water. And then you go out the next night and you can't do even a modicum of what you did the other night. So, and I
Hey,
get it's
here's
baseball. Like it's baseball, right? You're not going to go out there every night and hammer it down. But to do what they did, and and you got to give props to Arrighetti too. That guy, that kid, he went out and did business too. Um, but the lineup has got to contribute. I'm getting to the point now where the biggest question mark was the pitching for so long. Now it's despite the ERA and some of that stuff and the way that these last couple of games went here against Pittsburgh, I'm starting to have more concern over the offense than I am the pitching.
I yeah I sent that lineup to a friend the other night. Said this is a really long tail. It's a lot of pressure on your first four guys to produce because when you look down at the 6 through 9 guys, you know, depending on where they're playing Cam, and Cam is, he's coming along. You just need to leave Cam alone and let him keep on hitting the ball to right field.
Yeah, yeah, he's contributing.
But it's not pretty.
Mm-mm,
It's
it's
not.
not
It's
pretty.
not pretty. But hopefully they'll figure it out because I'm where you are. The pitching is going to have a bad series once in a while.
Yep,
It's just going to happen.
yep.
And so
The
hopefully against the
inconsistency of
A's
the
they get a
offense.
hopefully against the A's they can pick it up and do better. And because you know it's getting close
Yeah.
to where you can't come back. You think Espada makes the All-Star game?
Do I think Joe Espada makes the All Star game?
Yeah, you think it makes it to the All-Star game? You think they? Because I don't think they'll cut Dana
Oh
because we're too. I don't think they cut Dana because we're too close to the draft.
man, I mean, if they keep losing 2 out of 3,
If they're flat,
if they keep losing every 2 out of 3, if they're playing 500 ball, they're not going to can Joe.
nah.
If they're losing 2 out of 3 games every 2 out of 3 series, it's I guess I could see it happening.
I'm just concerned that, and again, we said it's not Joe's fault, but they're flat.
Yep,
Team is flat.
yep.
So
And
and it's
so
got to be tough. It's got to be tough for the guys in the locker room when somebody new's there every day.
yeah, yeah, that's got to be real tough. It's got to be real tough. Man, well, let's hope that a weekend series at home against the A's is maybe a little medicine
I hope
for these
so.
guys because I think
It's more.
that it's more
It's
what
easier. It's easier to do these things when they're winning.
it is. It is, man. The energy level right now is
Yeah.
ooh.
Yeah. All right, my friend.
Oh man. Well, that's another one, guys. Another one down. Let's hope for a good series this weekend against the A's. We need some action, something better to talk about. For now, I'm Ryan. That's Wally. Hey, go hit us on your favorite podcast app. Give us a little thumbs up or star an episode for us. Just leave a comment on Spotify. Until next time, go
Thanks, guys.
Stros.